The thing we all knew was coming but just had to be patient for has finally happened. The Fallout TV series is out now on wrong channel. Bayer Leverkusen are German champions for the first time in their history, winning just their second domestic trophy to go with their Pokal from the early 90s, and bucking the name Leverkusen once and for all. And on top of that, ending Bayern's dominance and unprecedented 6,000 consecutive seasons at the top of the Bundesliga table for the Bavarian Giants. Or at least it felt that way, didn't it? As things stand, Bayer Leverkusen are still undefeated this season, setting the German record for consecutive matches undefeated, currently sitting at 43. They still have the DFB Pokal final to play against Kaiserslautern, a fallen power of German football, and they are still in the quarterfinals of the Europa League with a lead over West Ham. Form flowcharts change all the time, but in this current moment with Liverpool suffering a bit, Leverkusen are no doubt the undisputed favorites in that competition as well. A treble of sorts could be on the cards. During the March international break, Alonso took time to consider his future, and he announced that he would continue as Leverkusen's coach, which no doubt came as a massive relief to Leverkusen supporters and a massive pain in the neck for Bayern and Liverpool supporters in particular. A pain in two ways for Bayern, given they share a league with Alonso and still have to compete with his Leverkusen side. While some people look to Alonso's decision as unambitious, in this opinion piece, I'd like to argue the complete opposite of such and explain why I think that staying at Leverkusen to try to continue their trophy-winning habit is the ultimate challenge, even if he is gambling in a sense. He's not cashing in when his stock is incredibly high and risks it going down should Leverkusen struggle next season. But like any gamble, if Xabi pulls it off and is successful, the payoff in his increasing stock will be equal to or greater than what it would be after any first season at a club like Liverpool or Bayern, where some grace would, in theory at least, be given to him in his debut season. Already, what Xabi Alonso has managed to achieve has been incredible, even if Leverkusen didn't win another title this season, which feels unlikely. He will already go down in history as a legend for Bayer Leverkusen, delivering their first ever league championship in their nearly 120 years of existence, and doing so with 5 matches remaining, and making 7 changes to their lineup and still winning 5-0 against Werder Bremen, which is crazy, man. They are flying. Now, as mentioned in the intro, there are those that have said that Alonso is showing a lack of ambition by not going to a Liverpool or a Bayern or Real Madrid prior to Ancelotti signing an extension at the end of last December, of course. Honestly, I feel like those who said that he is lacking ambition will have been those from Liverpool or Bayern who really wanted him to take over at their clubs. Scorned lovers, if you will. Rejected lovers, I should say. But in my opinion, he's choosing a very difficult path with Leverkusen that can boost his managerial prestige to a whole new level if he pulls it off. While moving to another club provides difficulties as well, Leverkusen is by no means the easy way out. When you look at previous Bundesliga champions from the start of the 90s onwards, there aren't many teams that managed to defend their title that aren't named Bayern Munich. The only other club that managed to do so was Borussia Dortmund, who did it in the 90s, and then again under Klopp in the 2010s. But other than that, nobody has managed to pull it off besides Bayern. In fact, if you want the next team that has managed to win the Bundesliga twice in a row, Hamburg, back in 1982 and 1983. They did it once. Gladbach did it twice in the 70s, but that's it when it comes to the Bundesliga era. It's a very rare thing that has only become more rare as time has gone on with Bayern's overwhelming dominance. So that's Borussia Dortmund, Hamburg, and Borussia Mönchengladbach. 3 teams that are not named Bayern Munich. That's crazy. Werder Bremen, Stuttgart, and Wolfsburg all had Bundesliga triumphs in the 2000s, but none of them retained their title, with Bayern Munich taking it back off of their hands right away. None of them even managed to finish as a runner-up after that, with Werder being the only one to finish in the top 3 this season after winning their title. For any team to win the Bundesliga, to finish ahead of Bayern Munich is a huge achievement, but it's seemingly an even more difficult proposition to do it twice in a row. And that makes sense because Bayern are the favorites each and every season, given the fact that Bayern boasts the best and most expensive squad, Bayern has the pedigree, Bayern has the finances, Bayern soaks up the talent, etc. So for someone to come along and shake that up, oftentimes your victory is also unfortunately a wake-up call for Bayern, and they come back with everything they have to try and wrestle the title back into their hands. Hell, Max Eberl even said as much about Leverkusen when he said, quote, "Your football has thrilled the Bundesliga, FC Bayern's streak has been snapped, but we will now put everything toward getting on the attack again." Chilling. So that will be fun, as a team fueled by revenge is a scary proposition, and a team like Bayern will no doubt retool and come back stronger. Not to mention those others like Borussia Dortmund and RB Leipzig aren't exactly going to roll over and be complacent this summer. When you are the top dog, you have to improve your squad because everyone will be looking to be better than you. Everyone will be coming for you, and that will make your life difficult. You can't afford complacency. As we have seen, besides Bayern, only Borussia Dortmund have managed to defend their title in the 21st century, doing so just once. If Alonso pulls that off with Leverkusen, he will be in very, very rare company amongst the likes of Jurgen Klopp as far as managerial achievements go in the Bundesliga. That's decent company to keep. And speaking of recruitment, no doubt Leverkusen will do some this summer, but they will also have to ward off those trying to prize their players away, and the mental gymnastics that comes with that. There has been plenty of talk in the media that Florian Wirtz in particular will be staying with Leverkusen for next season, that he's staying another season at the minimum to go on this Champions League adventure with the club that made him. Well, shout out to Köln. They produced him, but Leverkusen made him who he is. However, he won't be the only player that clubs will try to tempt away from Leverkusen, such as Alex Grimaldo, whom I miss dearly and have screamed into my pillow every single night since he's left Benfica. But beyond him making me emotional, he's made the Bundesliga look easy with how well he has played. A left back that you signed for free, and he has 11 goals and 16 assists across all competitions? What? All of Leverkusen's top performers will have clubs chatting to them, and while most will elect to stay at Leverkusen, they will indeed be tempted to move away because agents are greasy. And the promise of elevating your career by joining a quote-unquote bigger club will at the very least get them thinking. How? As an example, here's me playing a greasy agent or a representative from a club that wants to buy a player. You know, you've already made history at Leverkusen. You'll go down as a legend for the club. There's nothing else that you can achieve with them, so why not leave while the going is good? Of all of the players who have represented this club in its entire history, none of them have been a Bundesliga champion. None. But you have. So you should leave while your legacy's in good standing before things sour. You know, from a personal point of view as well, you have to consider yourself and hold yourself above all others. You have a limited time in this sport. Unfortunately, you can't afford to waste a single season. You must strike while the iron is hot. Your stock is at an all-time high, and if you don't move now, I promise you, you're gambling with your career. All of these opportunities could go away from you if you get a bad injury or something out of your control. I've seen it happen to players before. They say no to a move, they lose form or get injured at their current club, then they get stuck there. It's best to get on this train before it passes you by.
By the way, Greasy assistant checking in here, and I just wanted to add to everything else he's saying, you're getting severely underpaid at Bayer Leverkusen. So if you come and join us here at Big Club FC, we can triple your salary, pay you what you're really worth.
And why should you be so loyal to Leverkusen anyway? I mean, I promise you, as soon as your form starts to drop, they would consider dropping you and bringing in someone else. And then what? All of these conversations will be happening with Leverkusen's top talents, planting seeds of doubt, making them question whether they want to stay with Leverkusen or accept that move to another club. Conversations that no doubt Alonso sat through, or at least sat and considered as well. And now it will be on Alonso to ensure that everyone is pulling in the same direction, especially if results don't go their way early next season. Keeping standards and the morale of players high will be Xabi's biggest challenge. Players who may start thinking about the offers they received and start believing things like, last season may have been a fluke. This is where Xabi's big challenge in man management will come in with the squad. It's going to be incredibly difficult if they lose a couple of matches early. And so for me, all of these factors lead me to believe that not only is staying with Leverkusen an extremely difficult option for Xabi Alonso, but it's the right one. Is he gambling by not taking the Liverpool or Bayern jobs in this moment? In some ways, yes, as this is a harsh game and failure to deliver in his second full season at Leverkusen may see these opportunities pass him by without returning for some time. Who knows? But if he pulls it off, if he pulls off something like Jurgen Klopp did with Borussia Dortmund, then the gamble will have been worth it. Proving it wasn't a one-off, proving it wasn't a fluke. If he fails to deliver, disappointing, but he will always have this season. He will forever be the first manager to win a Bundesliga trophy for Leverkusen. And by the way, both Xabi Alonso and Carlo Ancelotti's contracts at their respective clubs are due to expire in June of 2026. So just saying. That's it for me, fellas. There's my opinion on this, but of course I want to hear where you guys stand on it. Be sure to let me know what you think Xabi Alonso should have done with his future. Do you agree with his decision? Do you think he should have tried a new challenge after accomplishing what he has in a season and a half with Leverkusen? And there's more to come. Let me know. But beyond that, thank you for spending some time with me today, and we'll see you soon for some Champions League coverage. Ciao.